But also I wonder whether as employers there's a fine line where you go, well, I don't want to intrude in someone's private matters. Their mental health is surely their private affair.
I think that's
right.
a lot. And what you don't want is your manager at work being some lay therapist who suddenly is asking you about other things. I think that the point is there's a role that managers have in being supportive, and that's a key part of a manager's role. And I think part of what we need to teach managers as part of being a good manager is how to know what their role is.
Yeah, because just to be devil's advocate, Rachel, we come to our workplaces with a history.
Of course.
Family trauma, maybe a history of anxiety, our individual coping styles, our individual resilience or not, as the case may be.
Yes.
Is it the responsibility of a workplace to engage with any of that, given that it's of you?
Well, I think historically it was very much, 10 or 15 years ago, it was very separate. Work and personal life were completely separate, whereas now it's not so. And we know now the work health and safety legislation that came into effect, particularly around 2012, and that goes to show if you are observing that someone is not travelling so well, regardless of causation, doesn't matter if someone's not travelling so well because of a work-related issue, or if they're not travelling so well at work because of a personal issue, or if they're not travelling so well at work because of a pre-existing mental health condition. The legislation now is in place to say, if you're observing someone's not travelling so well, you are under a legal obligation to assess the risk, which means go and initiate a conversation with someone about the cause, what's going on, how can we help and how can we assist and support, and then be able to put in a management plan for them. So I think we've seen a shift in that space, particularly since that legislation came about, in employers being a lot more proactive, because now there's legislation to support that. But I still do see a lot of anxiety in workplaces around having the conversation, and I do think it's often because in a lot of jobs, managers are in that role of troubleshooting, problem solving, dealing with something, putting a plan in place and making it all okay again. And I think if managers go into conversations around wellbeing and mental health with that same perspective and mentality, of course they're going to be anxious, because they don't have the answers. It's not their role to fix it. It's not their role to be able to be that person's main source of support.